Archaeologists discover 500-year-old mummy still intact, as if it were alive, shocking the world. The ancient world always knew how to spark public curiosity, perhaps because of the fascinating and seemingly impossible explanations about why strange things existed and how they were built, or mysterious skeletons that carried horrifying secrets. Over thousands of years of history, these artifacts, skeletons, and treasures remain surprisingly well preserved, leaving not only us, but also archaeologists and scientists astounded. In this video, we invite you to revisit 10 of the most mysterious archaeological discoveries from the ancient world, and to this day, the theories surrounding their formation continue to intrigue archaeologists and the public alike. The 500-year-old mummified girl with intact organs. On March 16, 1999, a group of scientists led by Johann Reinhard discovered the mummies of 3 Inca children at an altitude of 6,705 meters on the Tigris volcano, located on the border between Chile and Argentina. The remarkable preservation of these mummies left scientists in awe, especially the largest child mummy, believed to be about 13 to 15 years old, named the Tigris Maiden. The other 2 mummies, a boy and a girl, aged about 4 to 5 years old, were named Tigris Boy and Lightning Girl. The girl's body was so perfectly preserved that at first glance, it looked as though she was merely asleep. The mummy was sitting with her head slightly tilted forward, draped in a shawl over her shoulder. She had long black hair, and her skin showed very little wear from time. There were no bruises on her body. Later examinations revealed that the internal organs were undamaged, and the brain was intact, with blood still present in her heart. After further study, scientists concluded that the 3 children found on Tigris were mummies dating back 500 years. The cause of their deaths was attributed to consuming a specific substance. After many years of research, scientists identified that the Tigris Maiden and the 2 younger children were ritual sacrifices made by the Inca people around the 1400s. The Inca civilization in South America ended in 1572, leaving behind many unsolved mysteries. Before being sacrificed, the children were fattened up with a highly nutritious diet, especially foods symbolic of agricultural work, such as potatoes, corn, vegetables, and dried camel meat. Forensic studies on the maiden's hair revealed that she was likely intoxicated before her death. Specifically, it was found that months before her sacrifice, she had consumed large amounts of alcohol and coca leaves. This use of alcohol and coca, the raw material for cocaine, likely played a role in her death. However, the most valuable scientific discovery in finding the Tigris Maiden was not the advanced mummification technology of the Inca, but a more profound and less considered secret. During the examination of the mummy, researchers discovered tuberculosis bacteria in the Tigris Maiden. While the discovery of ancient pathogens is not new, the preservation of the bodies allowed modern medicine to make a breakthrough in understanding how diseases in the deceased could be detected, not just tuberculosis. Previously, scientists had faced difficulties with DNA-based research methods, as they could not conclusively determine if a person had been infected, since pathogens could come from the environment. However, while studying the 3 Inca children, Professor Angelique Corthals from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, New York, found a new method of detecting diseases with more accurate results. She used protein analysis on the mummy's skin. This technique has since been applied in determining diseases or causes of death in archaeological, medical, and criminal cases worldwide. Professor Corthals believes this discovery will open new doors in solving some historical mysteries, such as why the 1918 flu pandemic was so devastating, and help humanity be better prepared for potential future health threats. 1,000-year-old mummy in Peru's capital. Archaeologists in Peru recently made a significant discovery when they unearthed a mummy dated to be around 1,000 years old at the Huaca Pucllana archaeological site in Lima, the capital of Peru. This discovery is historic, offering deep insights into the Ixtma culture, a civilization that thrived on the central coast of Peru before the Inca Empire emerged. The head of the archaeological team, Mirella Ganoza, confirmed this finding in a press conference on September 6th. Ganoza shared that the mummy was found in almost perfect condition, with long hair, a complete jawbone, and discovered in a seated position, a characteristic burial practice of this period. The Huaca Pucllana site, located in the Miraflores district at the heart of Lima, is known for its immense archaeological value. Previously, archaeologists had discovered many other mummies and ritual objects at this site. Therefore, finding this mummy further reinforces the belief that Huaca Pucllana remains an underexplored area, still holding many valuable artifacts that could shed light on various aspects of the Ixma culture. The Ixma culture, which existed from the 9th to the 15th centuries, flourished along the central coast of Peru before the Inca Empire took control of the region. This civilization is notable for its architectural achievements, textile arts, and innovative agricultural systems. Although the Inca Empire replaced the Ixma, the archaeological remains of this culture remain key to understanding the long history of Peru. With over 400 archaeological sites spread across its settlements, Peru is one of the world's most archaeologically rich countries. Discoveries like the mummy at Huaca Pucllana not only hold historical value, but also offer clues to the mysteries of pre-Columbian civilizations, opening opportunities for further research into the ancient peoples who once inhabited this region. Well-preserved skeletons in Pompei. On August 17th, officials at Pompei announced that archaeologists had found the remains of a man believed to be around 60 years old in a tomb that dates to the final decades before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. According to the Pompei Archaeological Park, this is one of the best-preserved skeletons ever found at the site and shows signs of mummification, with hair and ears still intact on the skull. Archaeologists also found small fragments of what might be fabric within the tomb and are investigating whether the man was embalmed before his burial. Additionally, they discovered 2 cremation urns in the tomb. At the time, adults were typically cremated in Pompei, making this burial method quite unusual. On the tombstone, archaeologists found the name of the deceased, Marcus Venerius Secundio, which also referenced Greek performances at the Pompei Theater. This is the first evidence that plays were performed in both Greek and Latin in Pompei. Gabriel Zuchtriegel, the director of the Pompei Archaeological Park, stated that these Greek performances are evidence of the vibrant and open culture that defined ancient Pompeii. According to other city records, Marcus Venerius was once a slave and a caretaker of the Venus Temple. However, after gaining his freedom, he achieved a certain economic and social status, as evidenced by his impressive tomb. The burial site is located outside the city boundaries and is not currently open to visitors. Authorities in Pompei have said they are exploring ways to open the area to the public. Located 23 km southeast of Naples, Pompei was home to about 13,000 residents before the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, which buried the entire city under ash, dust, and debris. The ruins were forgotten for 1,700 years until they were unexpectedly rediscovered in 1748. Since then, excavations have provided profound insights into the lives of a city at the peak of the Roman Empire. Today, the UNESCO World Heritage Site is one of Italy's most visited tourist destinations. 9,000-year-old bison mummy, found beneath ice. In 2011, a group of Yukagir tribe members from northern Siberia discovered the remains of a steppe bison that had been buried under ice for 9,000 years. This discovery was made along the shores of a lake where the bison's body had remained preserved in the freezing conditions for nearly a millennium. The steppe bison is the ancestor of today's bison species, which still exist in the plains of North America and Northern Europe. After the mummy was found, the almost perfectly preserved bison was transported to the Yakutian Academy of Sciences in Siberia for examination. The extreme cold in northern Siberia helped preserve the remains exceptionally well, with the skull and other parts of the animal remaining almost intact. Scientists confirmed that the brain and internal organs of the bison were remarkably well preserved after being buried under the ice for 9,000 years. However, some parts of the animal had significantly shrunk over time due to the natural aging process. Olga Potapova, a member of the research team, stated that typically, large animal mummies in North America or Siberia only remain as partial bodies due to the destructive effects of ice over thousands of years. However, the steppe bison's preservation is much more complete. After a thorough investigation, scientists concluded that the bison died at the age of 4, and its death was caused primarily by a lack of food, evidenced by the absence of fat around its abdomen. This discovery not only provides new insights into ancient animal species, but also helps researchers better understand the environment and living conditions of animals during the Ice Age. 2,000-year-old cemetery by the Nile River. During excavations of underground tombs in the village of Danjeel, Sudan, archaeologists from the Sudan National Council for Antiquities and Museums, NCAM, in collaboration with the British Museum, discovered several valuable artifacts, including a silver ring depicting a horned deity. Researchers believe this ring belonged to Amun, the legendary king of the Kingdom of Kush. Other treasures found in the tombs include a ceramic box with large eyes, several arrowheads, the remains of a man wearing a stone ring, and a set of tightly bound eating bowls. In 2002, the villagers of Danjeel accidentally discovered the ancient cemetery while digging a ditch. The village of Danjeel, located south of the fifth cataract of the Nile River, is home to one of the most unique cemeteries of the Kingdom of Kush. The Kingdom of Kush, a powerful civilization, thrived in the ancient city of Meroe, near what is now Danjeel. This kingdom once ruled a vast territory, with its northern borders extending into Egypt under the control of the Roman Empire. Unlike the traditional cemeteries with famous pyramids, the Danjeel cemetery is distinctive because it lacks monumental structures, with instead subterranean tombs. This makes the excavation process particularly fascinating and full of surprises. However, according to archaeologist Mahmoud Suleiman Bashir from NCAM, the exact size of the cemetery has yet to be determined. 300-year-old Austrian pastor's body, found preserved like a mummy. A strange discovery has captured the attention of both the scientific community and the public, as the body of an Austrian pastor who died in 1746 was found nearly intact, despite not undergoing any mummification process. This has led many to call it a miracle, as the body of this man, after 272 years, remained perfectly preserved. The pastor, identified as Franz Xaver Sidler von Rosenegg, lived in the settlement of St. Thomas am Blasenstein, Austria, and was buried in traditional alpine attire. The body was found in a crypt, where the unique environment naturally preserved it. The excavation revealed that the body showed almost no signs of decay, with clothing still intact. Recently, scientists from Munich University completed a 10-month examination and confirmed that Franz died from tuberculosis, not epilepsy, as previously speculated. Forensic researchers Andreas Nerlich, Peter Hofer, and Oliver Peschel discovered signs of tuberculosis and internal bleeding in Franz's lungs, which were the causes of his death. Additionally, the discovery that Franz was a heavy smoker surprised researchers. Scratches on his teeth and the condition of his lungs indicated a long history of smoking. The conditions in the crypt where his body was buried created an ideal environment for the body to be preserved and naturally mummified. The pastor's body was covered with rags, pieces of wood, and branches, materials that helped protect it from decomposition. To the 100-year-old tomb complex in China. In Jiangsu Province, China, archaeologists have uncovered a 2,100-year-old tomb complex along with over 10,000 artifacts, including coins, chariots, and even the coffin of a king. Previous excavations in 2009 and 2011 uncovered 3 tombs and tunnels containing weapons and chariots. However, in this latest survey, the archaeologists discovered a treasure trove of items made of gold, bronze, and jade. This tomb complex is believed to belong to King Liu Fei, who ruled the Zhongdu Kingdom before his death in 128 BCE. The tomb spans 490 meters and is situated within a large earth mound. Notably, the complex has 2 roads leading to the king's burial site, each 35 to 36 meters long, aligning with the burial rituals for a king. One of these roads contained wooden chariots made of wood, lacquer, bronze, gold, and silver, reflecting the burial customs of the time. In ancient China, chariots were not only transportation vehicles, but also symbols of wealth and power for the deceased. The tomb also contained other treasures, such as a gold, silver, and gem-encrusted doormat, a golden rabbit, and various musical instruments, including bells and parts of a 36-string zither. These items represented respect and preparation for the king's eternal life after death. Particularly notable was the discovery of more than 100,000 coins from China's first imperial dynasty, buried beneath the king's coffin. In ancient tradition, it was believed that a king would need wealth in the afterlife. Another intriguing find was a bronze elephant statue, shedding light on the connections between Chinese tribes and Southeast Asian groups, where elephants were native. Additionally, King Liu Fei's tomb contained around 8,000 more artifacts made from gold, silver, jade, and lacquer, creating an invaluable treasure trove of cultural and historical insights from ancient China. 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy, perfectly preserved. A 3,000-year-old female mummy in almost perfect condition was discovered in an ancient stone sarcophagus at the El Asaf area in Luxor, along the Nile River, near the Valley of the Kings. This is one of 2 sarcophagi found in an ancient tomb, drawing significant attention from experts and the international public. The first sarcophagus was opened earlier and contained the remains of a priest who oversaw the embalming process for the pharaohs. Egypt's Minister of Antiquities, Khalid al-Anani, stated that one of the 2 sarcophagi is in the style of the Hindu seal and dates back to the 17th dynasty, while the other is from the 18th dynasty. The 18th dynasty, which lasted from the 13th century BCE, is known for some of Egypt's most famous pharaohs, including Tutankhamun and Ramses II, marking a golden era in ancient Egyptian history. What is particularly remarkable about this discovery is that the sarcophagi were opened in front of international media, marking an important historical event. While the identity of the female mummy remains unknown, the mummy in the first sarcophagus has been confirmed as Thirtyyearold, a priest responsible for overseeing the embalming of the pharaohs. Inside the tomb, archaeologists also discovered 5 masks and around 1,000 Ushabti figurines, miniature statues of servants believed by the ancient Egyptians to serve the soul of the deceased in the afterlife. Additionally, the tomb contained numerous skeletons and skulls dating back nearly 4,000 years, offering further insights into life and death in ancient Egyptian civilization. Archaeologists continue to study the site and hope these findings will yield more valuable information about the pharaohs, religious practices, and the lives of ancient Egyptians. Noblewoman's mummy in stone sarcophagus, discovered in Siberia. In Siberia, Russia, archaeologists have reported the accidental discovery of a perfectly preserved female mummy dressed in silk lying in a stone sarcophagus deep beneath the water. The discovery occurred when the water level in a dam dropped to a low point, revealing the tomb, which had been preserved almost completely intact for centuries. Experts stated that although the tomb had been submerged for a long period, the woman's body was well preserved due to being buried in a stone sarcophagus and dressed in silk. This natural preservation process allowed her mummy to remain surprisingly intact despite the passage of time. Upon examination, experts found several unique artifacts on the body. On the chest of the mummy, they discovered a pouch of pine nuts, believed to help the deceased transition to the afterlife according to ancient beliefs. They also found a cosmetics box containing birch bark and a small mirror, items that reflect part of the woman's life and habits while she was alive. Based on these artifacts, experts determined that the woman was a nomadic Hungarian, possibly of noble descent. The silk, mirror, and coins found in the tomb date back to the Han Dynasty, around 206 BCE to 220 CE. To this day, scientists are continuing their research, hoping to uncover the woman's identity and learn more about her life and the culture of the community she belonged to before her death. Mummy of cats and scarabs, found in ancient Egyptian tomb. Recently, archaeologists in Egypt made a spectacular discovery while excavating a tomb dating back 4,400 years, located in the Saqqara area, one of the most famous burial grounds of ancient Egypt. During the excavation, in addition to the main tomb, the archaeologists also uncovered 7 other tombs, each containing priceless artifacts that provide valuable insights into the religious practices and burial customs of ancient Egyptians. One of the most notable findings was a sarcophagus containing dozens of cat mummies, along with about 100 wooden cat statues. In ancient Egyptian culture, cats were considered sacred animals, symbols of protection and power. Additionally, the archaeologists discovered a bronze statue of the cat goddess Bastet, the goddess of love, protection, and joy, who was widely worshipped in Egyptian society. Furthermore, a collection of scarab mummies was found in the tomb complex, highlighting the significance of scarabs in ancient Egyptian religion and beliefs. The scarab, symbolized by Khepri, was considered a representation of rebirth and the sun, and it played an essential role in Egyptian religious rituals. According to Mostafa Waziri, the head of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, when excavating these coffins, archaeologists noticed that they were carefully sealed with characteristic scarab drawings. This provides clear evidence of the important role scarabs played in the funeral rituals and religious beliefs of ancient Egyptians. 2,000-year-old human remains. According to an article published in Nature magazine on September 19th, an international archaeological team recently discovered a 2,000-year-old set of human remains in a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera Island, Greece, in the Mediterranean Sea. The remains consist of part of a skull, 2 arm bones, several ribs, and 2 thigh bones. Archaeologists say that if they manage to collect any remaining DNA samples, they could potentially identify more specific characteristics of the individual. Furthermore, this remarkable discovery might help reveal many secrets about the famous merchant ship from the 1st century BC, which is believed to have sunk after encountering a major storm. Brendan Foley, an archaeologist at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in Massachusetts, commented that finding these remains is a rare occurrence, as bodies of shipwreck victims usually decompose or become prey for fish, making it unlikely for them to survive for decades, let alone centuries. To date, the Greek government has not allowed archaeologists to collect and analyze the DNA of the remains. But according to an initial assessment by ancient DNA expert Hannes Schroeder from the Natural History Museum of Denmark, these well-preserved remains likely belong to a young man. Schroeder also stated that if DNA samples could be obtained, they could reveal information about his hair color, eye color, and genetic origins. But unfortunately, this has not been possible so far. The shipwreck containing these remains is located about 164 feet underwater and was first discovered by divers in 1900. It remains the first shipwreck to capture the attention of archaeological research. $19 billion USD, treasure of gold and silver. On June 8, 1708, after a bloody battle with 4 British warships, the Spanish warship San Jose caught fire and sank to the ocean floor off the coast of Colombia. The ship, carrying a massive treasure of gold, silver, and precious jewelry, became one of the most famous shipwrecks in history. This treasure, estimated to be worth up to $19 billion USD at current gold and silver prices, was extracted from Peru and was intended to support Spain's war against Britain, alongside France. San Jose, often called the Holy Grail of shipwrecks, has become a symbol of treasures hidden beneath the sea. Along with its 600-person crew, the ship carried not only priceless artifacts, but also stories of war and survival. The treasure remained lost for over 300 years until the Colombian government decided to partner with the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution in 2015 to locate the wreck. Thanks to relentless efforts, the San Jose wreck was finally found at the end of 2015, marking a major milestone in archaeology and history. However, the discovery of the wreck did not conclude the story. A dispute over the ownership of the treasure quickly erupted between Spain and Colombia. Spain claimed ownership of the treasure because the ship was theirs, while Colombia argued that the treasure belonged to them since the wreck was located in their waters. Additionally, anthropologist Professor Talk Thompson presented another argument, suggesting that the gold and silver belonged to the Inca Empire and therefore might belong to Peru. However, treasure hunters and experts such as John Matera believe that the Colombian government has the strongest claim to ownership since the wreck lies within their territorial waters. What's particularly concerning is that, despite ongoing legal disputes at the time, the treasure of San Jose has not yet been salvaged. Meanwhile, the treasure is gradually being damaged and lost in the harsh, salty underwater environment. Truly unfortunate, isn't it? Victim remains under the Titanic wreck. More than a century has passed since the Titanic disaster claimed the lives of over 1,500 passengers, but the mysteries surrounding this legendary ship remain unsolved. However, recently, a photograph was publicly released for the first time during the 100th anniversary of the tragedy, drawing global attention. The photo shows a coat and pair of boots lying in the mud at the site of the Titanic wreck in the North Atlantic Ocean. Officials and experts believe that these items could be evidence suggesting the presence of victims' bodies still buried beneath the sea floor. James Delgado, Director of Maritime Heritage at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, stated, "The way the coat and boots are positioned close to each other suggests that this may be the final resting place of a victim." He believes that remains could still exist inside parts of the shipwreck that have not yet been explored. However, this viewpoint has sparked controversy among experts. James Cameron, the director of the Titanic movie, who has participated in multiple explorations of the Titanic wreck, stated that he has never encountered human remains during these expeditions. Despite this, Delgado insists that the differing opinions among experts are simply a matter of semantics. As an archaeologist, he believes these images are evidence that the remains of Titanic victims may still be lying on the ocean floor, buried beneath layers of mud. The Titanic, the largest and most modern ship of its time, sank to the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean after hitting an iceberg on April 15, 1912. While over 340 bodies were recovered, nearly 1,160 bodies were never found. This is one of the reasons why the Titanic remains a symbol not only of maritime disaster, but also of legal battles to protect its legacy. 500-year-old sturgeon fossil. A remarkable archaeological discovery was recently announced by researchers from Lund University in Sweden concerning a nearly intact sturgeon found in the wreck of the Gribsjunden, a famous Danish ship. This ship sank more than 500 years ago, in 1495, off the coast of Ronneby, which is now part of Sweden. The discovery has revealed many fascinating details about both history and the unique natural preservation factors in the area. Specifically, when excavating a wooden chest inside the Gribsjunden wreck, archaeologists discovered the remains of a 6.5-foot-long sturgeon that had been remarkably well preserved. This is a rare find because in the natural conditions of the Baltic Sea, where oxygen levels are low, the decomposition of organic materials occurs very slowly. This creates an ideal environment for preserving artifacts, including the remains of this rare sturgeon. According to Brendan Foley, a maritime archaeologist at Lund University, the Gribsjunden wreck has been well preserved due to the low salinity of the Baltic Sea and the seafloor's primarily fine clay composition, which protects organic materials from decay. Therefore, this discovery is not only unique from an archaeological perspective, but also provides valuable insights into a significant period in European history. The story of the Gribsjunden is tied to King Hans of Denmark, who used the ship to carry out a crucial campaign to restore the Kalmar Union, the alliance of the three Scandinavian countries, Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. However, when the ship sank, King Hans was not aboard. The loss of one of the most powerful warships severely impacted his reputation and military strength, weakening Denmark's political and military position. Although the Kalmar Union continued after the shipwreck, about a quarter century later, in 1523, Sweden broke away, leading to the dissolution of the Union. Therefore, this discovery not only helps us understand a maritime disaster, but also provides valuable information about the political, economic, and cultural history of the Nordic region in the late 15th century. Amphora wine jars. In the Mediterranean Sea, off the coast of Palermo in Sicily, researchers have announced the discovery of an ancient Roman shipwreck dating back to the 2nd century BCE. The ship, found at a depth of 302 feet beneath the sea, was discovered with the help of an underwater robot. The first images sent back from the robot showed the ship carrying a large number of amphorae, which are characteristic clay jars used by the Romans to store wine, oil, and other products. According to Valeria Lee Vigny, the manager of the Sicilian Seas, this discovery is not only of great archaeological value, but also provides valuable information about maritime trade, Roman ships, and transportation methods. She stated, "The Mediterranean continues to offer valuable elements for reconstructing history, helping us better understand life aboard ships and the relationships between coastal communities." Because of this, the discovery of the Roman shipwreck attracted significant attention from Sicilian authorities at the time, with many considering it one of the most important archaeological finds in recent years. Additionally, earlier this year, Sicilian archaeologists discovered another Roman shipwreck at a depth of about 230 feet near Ustica Island. This ship, too, carried a massive amount of amphorae, further proving the strong development of the wine trade during the Roman era. Of course, this is not the first time archaeologists have found Roman ships in this region. In 2013, an almost intact Roman ship, also from the 2nd century BCE, was discovered at a depth of 164 feet off the coast of Genoa, about 1 mile from Alassio. This discovery provided profound insights into the commercial journeys and cultural exchanges of the Romans across the Mediterranean Sea. Giant cannon in 17th century warship wreck. Recently, Historic England announced an important discovery related to the wreck of the Dutch warship Klein Hollandia, found off the southern coast of England. The wreck lies at a depth of 105 feet near the resort town of Eastbourne. Although it was discovered in 2019 by a local diving operator, the identification of the ship was only completed through the cooperation of Historic England, the UK Maritime Archaeology Society, and the Dutch Cultural Heritage Agency. The Klein Hollandia holds significant historical value. It was built in 1656 and participated in major battles during the Second Anglo-Dutch War from 1665 to 1667. However, in 1672, while on a journey from the Mediterranean back to the Netherlands, the ship was unexpectedly attacked by a British squadron and severely damaged. After the attack, the Klein Hollandia immediately sank, taking with it many sailors from both the British and Dutch crews, including the ship's commander, Jan van Ness, who was killed in the battle. This attack became a key event leading to the Third Anglo-Dutch War, part of a series of naval conflicts from 1652 to 1784 over control of trade and colonies. According to Historic England, the condition of the Klein Hollandia wreck is remarkable and could provide a wealth of information about Dutch shipbuilding techniques in the 17th century, as well as the operations of warships during its final voyage. The research team has collected and analyzed many materials from the seabed, including the ship's wooden hull, a giant cannon, marble bricks, and Italian ceramics. They also conducted tree ring analysis of wood samples and examined archival documents to identify the ship. However, the information we know about the ship is still limited, and many mysteries remain. It may take a long time before archaeologists can fully analyze and publish more details about this find. 17th century weapon cache. In 2005, during a survey of the wreck of the British warship HMS Sussex, treasure hunters discovered an intriguing mystery at the bottom of the sea between Spain and Morocco: the remains of a 46-foot pirate ship used for capturing slaves. This was the first discovery of a pirate ship in the central region of the Barbary Coast, once home to the infamous pirates of history. The discovery was thoroughly researched and published in the journal Wreckwatch, sparking curiosity about this dark period in maritime history. Marine archaeologist Sean Kingsley explained that the ship was likely equipped with many heavy weapons and tasked with capturing slaves, especially along Spain's coastline. However, this ship also had a distinctive feature. It was carrying goods like pots and pans produced in Algiers, North Africa. This was likely a camouflage strategy to pose as a merchant ship and deceive other vessels. This type of pirate ship, common in the 17th and 18th centuries, was designed to sail and row, making it easy to mistake for local fishing boats. This allowed pirates to launch surprise attacks on merchant ships, particularly along the Mediterranean and Atlantic coastlines. After sinking in the Strait of Gibraltar, the ship retained many weapons, including 4 large cannons, 10 smaller cannons, and an ornate telescope, reflecting the advanced technical skills of Barbary pirates at the time. Barbary pirates, mostly Muslim, began their activities in the 15th century, mainly from Algiers, a region under the Ottoman Empire. These pirates became a long-standing menace, seizing ships and capturing slaves along the European coastline. The captured individuals were often sold as slaves in North African slave markets, where they endured a life of oppression under their masters. However, the rise of wars, such as the Barbary Wars, ended this era of piracy by the early 19th century. With this discovery, we not only gain a deeper understanding of the dangers posed by Barbary pirates, but also appreciate the cunning and ferocity of their attack strategies. The artifacts and weapons found on the wreck are clear evidence of a dark chapter in maritime history, one that is impossible not to admire for the strength and audacity of those pirates. 19th century Champagne. Last week, a team of Polish divers made a serendipitous discovery of a treasure beneath the Baltic Sea, about 23 miles south of Åland Island. The brackish waters of the Baltic are famous for being the site of over 100,000 shipwrecks throughout history, making it an attractive destination for divers and marine archaeologists. The wrecks in this region not only tell fascinating historical stories, but also hold valuable assets that have been buried for centuries. The ship discovered by the diving team is believed to be a merchant vessel that sank long ago. However, what was surprising was the ship's hold, which was filled with bottles of champagne, mineral water, and porcelain. According to Tomasz Staszura, the leader of the Baltic Tech diving team, this was the first time he had encountered a wreck with such a large quantity of goods. He shared, "I've been diving for 40 years, and usually we only find 1 or 2 bottles on each wreck, but this time we found hundreds of bottles of champagne and mineral water." This fascinating story began with the team's curiosity. Over the years, they had explored shipwrecks simply out of passion for uncovering underwater history. Upon discovering this ship, the divers quickly recognized several important details that helped them date the wreck to the late 19th century. The clay bottles of mineral water, along with the distinctive logo of the German company Selters, were valuable clues in identifying the period and origin of the ship. The divers immediately notified Swedish authorities about the discovery, but recovering the champagne bottles would not be easy. The ship has been resting there for 170 years, so the team decided to leave it undisturbed for a while. This gave them more time to prepare for a more thorough recovery operation. As you can see, this discovery is not just an interesting coincidence, but it may also open up many opportunities for deeper research into a forgotten part of history beneath the Baltic Sea. Rare pink handfish, found in the SS Tasman wreck. During an expedition to explore the wreck of the SS Tasman off the coast of Tasmania, divers were amazed to discover a pink handfish, Brachyopsilus dianthus, a critically endangered species. This fish was hiding among the wreckage and coral, with its wide pectoral fins extended, resembling outstretched hands. This was an incredibly rare discovery, as the pink handfish was first identified in 1947, and very few people have encountered them since. The SS Tasman was a steamship built in 1873 that was used for transporting cargo and passengers. It met its fate after striking an uncharted coral reef near Hippolyte Rocks. The accident caused the ship to sink, but fortunately, 29 passengers and crew members survived, leaving behind 75 cattle on board. The dive took place at a depth of 230 feet, with a time limit of 25 minutes before the divers had to return to the surface. While exploring the wreck, Brad Turner, a member of the dive team, was the first to spot the pink handfish. Turner shared, "We came to study the wreck, but the handfish caught everyone's attention. The magic of the expedition was heightened when, after finishing the dive, the team unexpectedly discovered another handfish just 33 feet away from the first, adding to the marvel of the experience." The pink handfish, Brachyopsilus dianthus, is one of 4 rare handfish species at risk of extinction in Tasmania. A distinguishing feature of this species is that they lack a swim bladder to regulate buoyancy, so they typically stay close to the seafloor and can only swim short distances. Thus, discovering 2 Brachyopsilus dianthus in the same dive not only marked a significant success in marine biology research, but also emphasized the importance of protecting these endangered species. The enormous treasure from the Silk Road era. An astonishing archaeological discovery was recently made on the floor of the South China Sea, where archaeologists recovered treasures from the Ming Dynasty, dating back to 2 shipwrecks centuries old. Specifically, on June 13th, while excavating the wrecks, the camera of the submersible Deep-Sea Warrior captured this remarkable moment. This is one of the largest excavations in the journey to uncover the mysteries beneath the deep sea, an area historically known as the Silk Road, the legendary trade route connecting ancient civilizations. The excavation began in 2022 when archaeologists discovered the wrecks of 2 ships at a depth of over 4,921 feet near the northwestern continental slope of the South China Sea. After a year of research and excavation, nearly 1,000 cultural artifacts were recovered from these ships, including porcelain, ceramics, copper coins, and deer antlers, all dating back to the Ming Dynasty, 1368-1644. The discovery of these artifacts not only proves the prosperity of the Ming era, but also affirms that the South China Sea was once a crucial trade route in history. Notably, one of the ships carried goods like wood, silk, and turbans, while the other mainly transported porcelain and ceramics. Even more fascinating is the fact that the two wrecks are only 12 nautical miles apart, a relatively short distance, yet they reveal a rich story about the maritime trade journeys of that time. Mysterious corpses beneath the dry lake bed. In the western United States, Lake Mead, the second largest man-made reservoir, has dropped to its lowest level in history due to drought. As the water recedes, dark secrets are emerging, with two human skeletons recently discovered. The first body, found on May 1st, is likely that of a homicide victim, with gunshot wounds from the mid to late 1970s to early 1980s, based on the victim's clothing and shoes. It is highly probable that this person's death is linked to the mafia. Another body was discovered on May 7th. A witness called the emergency hotline, reporting the discovery of another set of bones near Lake Mead. The discoverer, Lindsay Melvin, initially thought it was the skeleton of a large sheep, but upon closer inspection, she noticed human teeth. Authorities in Las Vegas confirmed that an investigation is underway. However, Clark County forensic experts have not yet announced the cause of death or the identity of the newly discovered skeleton. Ray Spencer, the local police officer, stated, "The lake is slowly draining due to the drought. It's likely more bodies will be found in the lake." Spencer also believes many of these bodies will be connected to organized crime. The discovery of these remains has reignited interest in Las Vegas and the city's infamous past, when criminals ruled the land. As the water level continues to drop during this major drought, many suspect that what lies beneath Lake Mead will not remain hidden for much longer. It is known that Lake Mead is a large water reservoir in the U.S. Currently, its water level is about 1,050 feet above sea level, approximately 164 feet lower than in 2000, when it was last considered full. This marks the lowest recorded level for the reservoir since it was filled in the 1930s. 30-year-old mummified cat. As we know, mummifying a body is no simple task. It requires the right chemical conditions and the proper level of humidity. All of these must align to prevent the body from decomposing. However, in the town of Wigan in England, a 30-year-old mummified cat was found, showing no signs of decay despite no chemicals being used. The discoverer of this unusual find was Adam White, who, while cleaning the attic of his warehouse, came across the mummified cat with his son. At first, he thought it was just an old wooden decoration left behind by the previous family. But upon closer inspection, noticing the cat's teeth and ribs, he was certain it was the body of a cat. Adam quickly posted images of the mummified cat online, hoping to find its rightful owner. After seeing the photos, experts in mummification were amazed, as the cat's body had naturally dried out without the use of any preservatives. They concluded that the cat had been in the attic for around 30 years. A 3,400-year-old ancient city sleeps beneath the Tigris River. A team of international archaeologists recently excavated a 3,400-year-old ancient city beneath the Tigris River in the Kurdish region. The village, built between 1475 and 1275 BC, the Bronze Age, dates back to the time when the Mitanni Empire ruled the Tigris region. The city was uncovered near the Mosul Dam when drought caused the river levels to drop earlier this year, revealing the ancient city. The settlement, constructed with brick walls, includes a palace, several towers, multi-story buildings, and other large structures. It could be the ancient town of Zakiku, a major trading hub within the Mitanni Kingdom. Dr. Ivana Poljes of the University of Freiburg mentioned that the active collaboration of the Kurdish Archaeological Organization helped the international team uncover the lost city. This discovery is incredibly significant because it revealed many well-preserved artifacts that tell the story of the entire region. This area had never been explored by archaeologists before because it was submerged when the Mosul Dam was built about 40 years ago. Last December, the region experienced severe drought, which caused nearby communities to draw water from the dam for daily use. Following this, unplanned events led Kurdish and German researchers to begin excavating and mapping the city before the ancient city fully emerged. The Zykiku area was completely destroyed by an earthquake around 1350 BC. However, the researchers found over 100 cuneiform tablets, some still buried in clay, that date back to the period following the disaster. These inscriptions could provide valuable information about the migration of human societies and the end of the Mitanni era. Dr. Peter Falzner, an archaeologist, explained that these cuneiform tablets, made of unbaked clay, are incredibly rare and interesting for having survived underwater for decades. Mysterious language from ancient ruins. Excavations at the ancient city of Boğazköy Hattusha in Turkey have recently revealed a tablet containing an unknown Indo-European language. Translating and identifying this language will take time, as no one has ever encountered it before, but experts confirm that this language belongs to the Anatolian branch of the Indo-European language family and is likely the language of the land of Kalashma, an ancient city in northwest Turkey. Boğazköy Hattusha, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was once the capital of the Hittite Empire during the Late Bronze Age, from around 1650 to 1200 BC. Excavations at this site have been ongoing for over a century through the German Archaeological Institute. Since the beginning of excavations, researchers have found nearly 30,000 clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform writing, which have provided the archaeological community with significant insights into the history, society, economy, and religious traditions of the Hittites and their neighbors. Most of the texts found on these clay tablets were written in Hittite, the oldest known Indo-European language. However, this year's excavation uncovered chants written in this previously unknown language. The Hittite Empire reached its peak in the 14th century BC, covering the Anatolian Peninsula, which forms much of present-day Turkey and parts of Upper Mesopotamia. It was a powerful empire during the Late Bronze Age until it was conquered by the Assyrian Empire. The Hittites may have developed the earliest known constitutional monarchy, and they are frequently mentioned in the Bible as living alongside the ancient Israelites. Archaeologists have made several interesting discoveries from the Hittite Empire. 100,000 ancient coins found under construction site. A massive treasure trove of 100,000 ancient coins was unearthed during construction work in the city of Maebashi in central Japan, including rare specimens of banliang, the first unified currency in Chinese history. These coins, dating back over 1,000 years, were strung together in chains of about 100 coins, bound by straw ropes and hidden during a period of war and unrest. The oldest coin in the treasure is a banliang coin from 175 BC, making it over 2,000 years old. The coin has a diameter of 0.9 inches and a thickness of 0.04 inches, with a square hole 0.28 inches wide at the center, inscribed with the characters Ban and Liang. In addition, authorities in Maebashi found a piece of straw measuring 24 to 39 inches, suggesting that the coins were wrapped in straw mats before being buried. From the 334 coins inspected, researchers confirmed at least 44 different types, ranging from 175 BC to 1265 AD. Most of these coins originated from the Western Han Dynasty to the Southern Song Dynasty. The banliang coins were initially issued by Emperor Qin Shi Huang around 210 BC and were used until the replacement by the Wu Ju coins in 118 BC. The most recent coin found, from 1265 AD, indicates that the coins were buried during the period from 1185 to 1333. Archaeologists believe the excavation area, stretching over a kilometer, may have been a central hub in the Kozuki province during the Kofun period, from the late 3rd century to the 7th century, which was the precursor to present-day Gunma and a center of trade during that time. Mysterious skull boxes. The story began in 2014 when an expedition led by Russian scientist Vladimir Melikov ventured deep into the Caucasus Mountains and discovered a peculiar area in Mount Bolshoi. In a cold cave beneath an ancient tree, they found 2 identical skulls unlike anything ever seen before. These skulls did not belong to any known species in the area, and they were definitely not human. Initially, researchers thought these might be fossils of extinct animals, but their perspective changed after a closer examination. One researcher stated, "They don't resemble anything known to be human. The trace of a round hole at the end of the skull could be the base of the spinal column. This suggests the creature moved on 2 legs, but unusually, it lacked a skull dome and jaw, while the eye sockets were abnormally large. However, the facial bones were flat like those of an ape. It's hard not to think that these are the remains of an extraterrestrial being. While the two skulls continued to baffle scientists, a subsequent discovery in a nearby forest added even more mystery. According to a Russian publication, the scientists found a large brown briefcase with a leather handle in the forest. Though old, it was in good condition. Inside the briefcase, they discovered a photo of a soldier wearing a cap and a Nazi uniform, bearing the insignia of the Edelweiss Mountain Division, along with several colorful maps drawn by the Germans in 1941. This discovery sparked suspicions. Could the Nazis have been involved with extraterrestrials? The answer to this question remains a mystery to this day. 3,000-year-old hall. Recently, in the historically rich region of Brandenburg in Germany, archaeologists uncovered a massive building dating back to the Bronze Age, believed to be the legendary Hall of King Hinz, a mythical figure who was said to have been buried in a golden coffin. The Brandenburg State Office for the Preservation of Monuments confirmed that this hall was found near a royal burial site in Seding, strengthening its connection to the mysterious ruler. The hall, measuring an impressive 102 feet by 33 feet, was discovered by an archaeological team led by Immo Heska from the University of Georg August. The team began their work in March and completed the excavation by the fall. This rare architectural find from the Northern European Bronze Age is over 3,000 years old. The building materials used included wood planks, resin, clay mortar, and thatched roofing. Notably, the discovery of a small pot, possibly used in rituals, further enhances the hall's mystery and historical significance. Nearby, the royal burial site connected to the legend of King Hinz, who was said to be buried in a golden coffin, adds to the intrigue. King Hinz is believed to have been a just and fair ruler of Prignitz, but little is known about him. Initially, this 3,000-year-old hall could be seen as evidence that the area surrounding it was once an important power center. While the existence of King Hinz and his reign remains shrouded in mystery, with the latest discovery, archaeologists are poised to uncover ancient traces and gradually unravel these historical secrets. 900-year-old skeleton, found beneath an ancient tree. A 215-year-old birch tree in Sligo, Ireland, was uprooted during a storm last winter. That was when locals discovered a human skeleton buried deep beneath the tree's roots. The upper part of the skeleton, including the spine and skull, was still lodged in the tree's roots and was pulled out of the grave, while the leg bones remained in the ground. The Sligo Leitrim archaeological team immediately began investigating this mysterious skeleton. Their research revealed that this was the skeleton of a young man who had suffered violent abuse during the Middle Ages, around the years 1230 to 1200. The study showed that the man was between 17 and 20 years old and stood 5 feet 10 inches tall, which was 3 inches taller than the average height of men at that time, who were about 5 feet 7 inches. He had a history of suffering from spondylitis, a spinal joint condition caused by heavy labor from a young age. The man had been buried alive according to Christian burial rites. He was placed in the grave facing east to west, with his arms crossed over his pelvis. However, scientists found no evidence suggesting this was a cemetery, so it's likely that he was buried alone. Researchers found visible injuries on his bones, including 2 knife cuts on his ribs and a cut on his hand. However, they could not determine if he died in battle or if it was simply a personal dispute that led to his death, and that remains an unresolved mystery. 1,000-year-old treasure with immense value. A young woman, metal detecting in a cornfield near a Viking fortress site in northwestern Denmark, uncovered a treasure worth more than gold, astonishing archaeologists. The discovery was nearly 300 silver coins dating back over 1,000 years. The location where the silver coins were found is about 5 miles from the Firkat Viking fortress near the town of Hobro. Archaeologists have researched the find and reported that among the treasure were coins from Denmark, Arabia, and Germany, along with various pieces of jewelry originating from Scotland or Ireland. This discovery plays a significant role in understanding Viking history and provides a deeper insight into the period when the fortress was built. According to information from the North Jutland Museum, which is displaying the treasure, previous coins from King Harold did not feature a cross, so it is likely that he introduced coins with the cross design as part of efforts to promote Christianity in Denmark. Additionally, the director of the North Jutland Museum has speculated about a connection between this treasure and the nearby fortress, which was burned during the same period. The archaeological team is planning an excavation for next fall after the harvest. Notably, the young woman who found the treasure will receive a significant financial reward, though the exact amount has not yet been determined. Intact Nazi airplane found at the bottom of the sea. A Nazi airplane recently discovered at the bottom of the sea off the island of Rhodes, Greece, is in remarkable condition beyond the expectations of experts. According to the Daily Mail, the Ju-52 aircraft was found at the bottom of the Aegean Sea. This was the main transport aircraft of Nazi Germany. It is unclear what the aircraft was doing in the area, but the Nazis had controlled Rhodes since 1943. The Ju-52 could have been used for troop transport or military equipment delivery. It is also unknown why this Nazi Luftwaffe plane sank or how many people were aboard at the time. The wreck was discovered at a depth of about 243 feet by a professional diver using GPS equipment. The diver also recorded video footage as evidence. The plane was found in surprisingly good condition, with only the engine at the front and the cockpit's protective glass missing. Experts are astonished by how well preserved the aircraft is after several decades. The machine guns remain in place, and the dashboard still displays the final readings. It is unclear if the plane was carrying treasure or anything else when it sank, but experts and archaeologists are continuing to search and hope that more details about this plane will be revealed soon. The largest airplane graveyard on the planet. A massive area in the Arizona desert has been designated as the final resting place for decommissioned U.S. military aircraft from multiple generations, and this airplane graveyard, known as the Boneyard, is now clearly visible on Google Earth. The planes stored at the Boneyard are worth a combined total of $35 billion, and they are used to extract spare parts for active military fighter jets. This world's largest airplane graveyard is located at the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base near Tucson, Arizona. The Boneyard holds around 4,200 aircraft of various types. In addition to those that have been decommissioned, many planes are temporarily parked in the massive storage area during different phases of military deployment. This site also serves as the base for the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, which specializes in repairing aircraft. The engines, weapons, wiring systems, and electronics from the old planes are recycled or reused to help reduce maintenance costs for the U.S. military's current air fleet. According to statistics from 2005, staff at the Boneyard had reused 19,000 different aircraft parts, valued at $568 million. Additionally, the U.S. allows other countries' militaries to purchase parts or even entire aircraft from the Boneyard. The airplane graveyard spans an area equivalent to about 1,300 football fields combined. This site has captured the public's interest since the launch of Google Earth's satellite mapping feature in 2005, but this is the first time the Boneyard has been revealed with high-resolution images. The desert conditions of Arizona are ideal for storing large quantities of old aircraft, as the area has low humidity and very little rainfall. Furthermore, the hard ground allows the planes to park normally without the need for concrete hangars. For these reasons, the U.S. military has been using Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, also known as the Boneyard, to store old planes for over 60 years. Ancient treasure sunken under the sea. Near the coast of Sardinia, an island in the Mediterranean, experts discovered tens of thousands of copper coins dating back to the early 4th century, embedded in seagrass beds. These coins are of the phallus type, a currency used by both the Roman and Eastern Roman empires, and the discovery is estimated to contain between 30,000 and 50,000 coins, surpassing a notable find in 2013 in Seaton, England, which included 20,188 coins. The coins were discovered alongside numerous amphorae, originating from Africa and the East. Most of the coins are in well-preserved condition, with only 4 damaged but still legible. The coins were minted between 324 and 346 AD. The coins come from nearly every minting facility of the Roman Empire operating during that period. Experts believe that the preservation and analysis of these coins will provide deeper insights into their historical context. This treasure is considered one of the most significant discoveries of minted currency in recent years. Additionally, Luigi La Rocca, the head of the Archaeology, Fine Arts, and Landscape Department of Italy's Ministry of Culture, emphasized the rich archaeological heritage beneath the sea, where humans frequently traveled and goods were transported from ancient times. Experts are still continuing to study the ancient treasure near the town of Arzachena to better understand ancient maritime trade and the vast influence of the Roman Empire. The secret alien base. In 2021, the online community was buzzing with a controversial discovery related to aliens when a group of people calling themselves UFO hunters claimed to have found an alien base off the coast of Antarctica through images on Google Earth. The story quickly garnered attention, especially after a video was uploaded on the popular YouTube channel Behind the Scenes, revealing images of a strange phenomenon beneath the ice, 180 kilometers from the Antarctic coastline. In the video, the uploader suggested that beneath the ice was a geometric structure with perpendicular lines, resembling a massive architectural formation. This structure is located at coordinates 63 degrees 59 56.79. S 118 degrees 43 on 44.48 E, and the description suggests it could be the ruins of an ancient settlement or even an alien base submerged underwater. The video sparked speculation about an advanced civilization from thousands of years ago, and the question who built it quickly spread. UFO expert Scott Waring was quick to state that this is clear evidence of an extraterrestrial base. He analyzed the structure's right angles and symmetry, suggesting it could be an aircraft hangar for spacecraft. Waring called for an expedition to verify the truth, emphasizing the need for ground-penetrating radar to search beneath the thick ice. However, not everyone agreed with this hypothesis. Some experts argue that this could just be a display glitch on Google Earth, possibly due to mismatched data or a visual illusion. Astronomer Chris Impey from the University of Arizona explained that in the vast universe with billions of objects, many phenomena can easily be explained by simple scientific causes. He argued that we shouldn't hastily conclude that this is a sign of aliens just because the phenomenon is unclear. As you can see, despite the lack of an official conclusion on this phenomenon, it has sparked a lively debate and piqued the curiosity of many about the mysteries that lie beneath the Antarctic ice. Could this really be an alien base, or is it just a strange coincidence of nature? Only time will answer this question, I believe. What about you? Do you believe in the existence of aliens? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The 107-year-old wreck of the Antarctic explorer's ship. In 2022, a surprising event left the world stunned when the wreck of the Endurance, the ship that carried the famous explorer Ernest Shackleton to the edge of Antarctica in 1915, was discovered more than 3,000 meters beneath the Weddell Sea. After over 100 years submerged at the ocean's floor, the ship remained remarkably intact. At the time, explorers described this event as an impressive testament to the resilience of nature and humanity. The Endurance became trapped in the thick ice of the Weddell Sea in February 1915. After months of battling the harsh conditions, the ship finally sank on November 21, 1915, leaving Shackleton and his 27-man crew stranded on the thin ice. Shackleton and 5 sailors then embarked on a miraculous journey nearly 1,300 kilometers to South Georgia Island, overcoming countless challenges to rescue the others. It wasn't until February 2022 that the Endurance 22 expedition was organized by the Maritime Heritage Trust, with South Africa's Agulhas 2 icebreaker leading the way to search for the ship. The team used submersibles and modern technology to search in this difficult-to-reach area. As a result, the Endurance wreck was discovered about 6.4 kilometers south of the location, recorded by Captain Frank Worsley. High-resolution camera images showed that the ship had retained its almost original shape, despite being underwater for over a century. At that time, Menson Bound, the director of the Endurance 22 expedition, expressed his amazement, saying, "This is the best-preserved wooden shipwreck I have ever seen." The thick ice, which had caused the Endurance to get trapped and sink, also helped protect the ship from deterioration. However, despite the Endurance wreck being considered a historical heritage site, the Antarctic Treaty prohibits anyone from touching it. Nevertheless, the Endurance Wreck expedition stands as a testament to human perseverance and the ability to overcome difficulties. Despite numerous challenges posed by natural conditions and thick ice, the Endurance 22 expedition succeeded in discovering and recording an important piece of history: the 800-year-old well-preserved penguin mummy. Biologist Stephen Emsley recently announced that he had discovered the remains of ancient Adelie penguins during an expedition in the Ross Sea, Antarctica. The story began 4 years ago when Emsley was conducting research at Irizar Point in the Ross Sea. There, he found a large pile of pebbles in an area where Adelie penguins typically build their nests. After thorough examination, he discovered several penguin corpses, most of which were young and had significantly decomposed, but some appeared to have died recently. This led Emsley to suspect something unusual and decide to investigate further. Today, the Ross Sea is home to nearly 1 million pairs of breeding Adelie penguins, but no penguins have been observed at Irizar Point since explorer Robert Falcon Scott recorded them at the beginning of the 20th century. Radiocarbon dating results confirmed Emsley's suspicion that these penguin remains were indeed ancient, dating back thousands of years. Specifically, the results indicated 3 distinct periods of Adelie penguin habitation. The first period was about 5,000 years ago, with the most recent period ending around 800 years ago. Emsley stated that the ideal living conditions for Adelie penguins occurred between 4,000 and 2,000 years ago, when temperatures were warmer and the marine environment was excellent. However, another important factor was the thickening snow and sea ice in the following years, which may have covered and preserved the penguin remains, allowing them to survive until today. Emsley was particularly surprised to realize that global warming could be the primary reason these ancient remains were uncovered. Since the 1980s, temperatures in the Ross Sea have risen by 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius, causing melting snow and ice, which revealed these remnants. Climate change not only affects animals, but also the preservation of natural remains, shedding light on an intriguing chapter of Antarctica's past and the rapidly changing environment. The Giant Whale Graveyard. In a surprising expedition in 2017, a research team from Auckland University of Technology, New Zealand, discovered a strange and extremely rare site on the ocean floor of Antarctica, a whale graveyard. This accidental but incredibly important discovery was significant because it was the farthest whale graveyard ever known to scientists from the equator. Led by Professor Catherine Bolstad, the research team used high-resolution cameras to record and analyze this amazing footage, later publishing their results in the journal Polar Biology. This whale graveyard is located at a depth of 945 meters off the coast of the Antarctic Peninsula, containing numerous carcasses of Antarctic minke whales. This discovery is even more valuable because most whale graveyards are found in areas of the North Pacific, such as off the coasts of California and Japan. In fact, fewer than 5% of whale graveyards have been found near polar regions, making this find even more exceptional. One notable aspect is the size of the whale remains. The skull of the minke whale is up to 2 meters long, while this species can grow up to 10.7 meters when fully mature. Experts state that the whale carcasses go through 4 stages of decomposition, and in this case, the carcasses in the footage were in the later stage of the second decomposition process. During this phase, most of the soft tissue has been consumed by large scavengers, but the skeleton still retains some tissue, attracting smaller creatures. While research on whale graveyards has been ongoing for some time, it remains a largely unexplored field, especially in hard-to-reach areas like Antarctica. The discovery of the ecological feast around the whale carcasses provides a valuable opportunity for researchers to delve deeper into the process of natural decomposition and the strange organisms that rely on these resources, which is certainly no exaggeration. 45-million-year-old turtle fossils. Argentine archaeologists recently made an impressive discovery on an island in Antarctica when they found fossils of ancient turtles dating back approximately 45 million years. This discovery includes 2 pieces of turtle carapace found on La Meseta Mountain on Seymour Island. While the exact species of turtle has not yet been determined, scientists believe these could be fossils from at least 2 different turtle species that lived during the Eocene period, about 45 million years ago. These fossil samples not only hold archaeological value, but also open a new door for scientists to better understand the environment and climate of Antarctica during the Eocene period. According to Professor Marcelo S. de la Fuente, a member of the research team from the National Museum of San Rafael, Argentina, these fossils show that the turtle species in Antarctica during the Eocene were more diverse than we previously thought. During the Eocene period, around 40 to 50 million years ago, Earth was quite different from today. Antarctica had not yet completely separated from Oceania, and the climate there was much warmer than it is now. In fact, during that time, Antarctica could have supported tropical forests, something unimaginable given the continent's icy conditions today. However, over millions of years, Antarctica gradually transformed into the coldest region on the planet. The discovery of ancient turtle fossils is evidence that Antarctica once had a much warmer climate than it does now. It is known that turtle species can only develop and diversify strongly in warm environments, so their existence in Antarctica during the Eocene period further supports the hypothesis of a warm climate in the region. So, have you ever thought that Antarctica in the past was a warm and habitable place? The mysterious door buried deep in the snow. A recent Google Earth user has reported discovering a mysterious door in the southeastern region of Antarctica, near Japan's Showa research station. The coordinates D39 DG3622 quickly became the center of discussions on Reddit, with various outlandish theories being proposed. Some suggested it might be Bigfoot's home, while others joked that it could be a stranded space shuttle, similar to a scene in Star Trek. A few users even humorously speculated that it was simply the door of a Boeing aircraft blown away by a plane crash that occurred last January. However, scientists quickly spoke up to explain the phenomenon. After checking the coordinates on Google Earth Pro and reviewing historical images, Professor Bethan Davies, a glaciologist at Newcastle University, explained that the mysterious door was actually an iceberg that had become lodged and melted in place. He clarified that this area is known for the frequent appearance of drifting icebergs, and the site captured was simply a natural phenomenon of melting ice. Professor Martin Siegert, co-director of the Grantham Institute for Climate Change and the Environment at the University of London, agreed with this analysis. He emphasized that the door was actually the result of ice melting around an obstacle beneath the solid ice sheet, influenced by melting and freezing cycles, as well as the effects of katabatic winds. This is an interesting phenomenon, but entirely normal in glaciology, he said. In the end, Professor Smelly confirmed that the door was, in fact, a short rocky outcrop revealed by the melting ice. He dismissed any conspiracy theories and stated that this was simply a natural phenomenon, with nothing to be overly concerned about. Thus, the story of the giant door in Antarctica was easily unraveled. 60 million icefish nests at the bottom of the Southern Ocean. In another discovery made in 2022, on January 13th, a research team published their findings about a massive icefish population in the Weddell Sea, Antarctica, in the journal Current Biology. This discovery revealed an unprecedented ecosystem, with a vast icefish population spanning at least 240 square kilometers, including about 60 million nesting fish. Notably, the biomass of this population amounts to over 60,000 tons, a remarkable figure never recorded before. Researcher Autumn Purser from the Alfred Wegener Institute in Bremerhaven, Germany, shared, "The most important discovery is the existence of such a vast spawning icefish population. We have found fish nests in various locations in Antarctica, but the scale of this population exceeds all expectations." The team made this discovery while surveying the Filchner ice shelf, using an ocean floor observation and mapping system, OFOBS, a 1-ton device towed behind the RV Polarstern icebreaker to film and collect depth-sounding data via sonar. What particularly caught scientists' attention was that this sea area features a water upwelling that is more than 2 degrees warmer than surrounding waters, creating a favorable environment for the icefish's development. However, the researchers were completely surprised by the size of the fish nest ecosystem, as they hadn't anticipated such a vast fish population in this area. Especially noteworthy, each icefish nest is guarded by an adult fish protecting more than 1,700 eggs, and the team found several dead fish near the nests, suggesting that they play an important role in the food web. This discovery opens the door to studying a unique ecosystem and could help scientists provide additional evidence for establishing a marine protected area in the Southern Ocean. For this reason, the research team is now continuing with 2 camera systems to monitor the icefish nests, hoping to study and further explore the workings of this ecosystem. The mysterious island, never before known. The record-breaking heat in February 2020 caused ice melt in Antarctica, leading to a surprising discovery that could change the map of the region. An island, previously buried in ice for an extended period, was seen rising above sea level for the first time. Researchers in the offshore Thwaites Glacier study in Pine Island Bay were the first to spot the island while exploring the coastline of the ice shelf. The small island, about 1,150 feet long and mostly covered in ice, rose above the sea with a distinctive brown rock layer, unlike the surrounding glaciers and ice flows. After briefly stepping onto the island, the researchers confirmed that it was made of volcanic granite and even found traces of past inhabitants. They collected samples from the island in hopes of gaining a clearer understanding of how the frozen continent is changing. The researchers plan to name the newly discovered island Sif, after a Nordic goddess associated with the Earth. Sarah Slack, a team member, shared, "This is an unexpected and exciting discovery. It clearly reflects the impact of climate change in Antarctica over recent years. Although the island is large enough to be detected by satellites from space, it had never been seen before because it was obscured by thick ice. Only when the ice melted did the island partially emerge." Thanks to satellite images from Google Earth, Peter Neff, another team member, created a model simulating the changes in the ice shelf since 2011, showing that the steady retreat of the ice led to the separation of Sif Island, which now stands independently in Pine Island Bay. Scientists believe the island could be the result of the ice's recovery process. As glaciers melt, the pressure on the underlying rock decreases, causing the area to rise and creating a change in the structure of the region. The mysterious hole in Antarctica. In the early 1970s, when satellite technology first began capturing images of Earth from space, scientists noticed a strange phenomenon. A mysterious hole appeared on a seasonal ice shelf in Antarctica, floating over the Lazarev Sea. Strangely, this hole disappeared during the summer, and the event continued to repeat every year without a clear explanation for decades. However, recent research has uncovered the truth behind this phenomenon. Based on satellite observations and data analysis, studies from New York University Abu Dhabi have revealed that the hole, also called the open water region, is actually the result of powerful storms. In September 2017, when warm and cold air collided forcefully in Antarctica, a vortex with wind speeds reaching 117 km/h created waves up to 16 meters high, pushing ice flows in all directions and opening holes in the ice sheet, resembling a giant drill piercing through the water beneath. What's notable is that these open water regions are not signs of destruction, but rather crucial for the Antarctic ecosystem. They create important pathways for wildlife such as seals and penguins, while also providing a habitat for plankton, an essential part of the marine food chain. Furthermore, these open water regions have significant impacts on the atmosphere and serve as an important indicator in climate change research. The mysterious amber chunk. Researchers made a groundbreaking discovery when they found amber fragments for the first time from a sedimentary basin off the coast of Antarctica. This discovery not only opens a new chapter in studying the planet's past, but also provides valuable insight into the forests that once thrived on the Antarctic continent, where dinosaurs and mammals once lived. The study, published on November 12 in the journal Antarctic Science, showed that during the Cretaceous period, high levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere led to global warming, creating ideal conditions for the growth of vast rainforests that covered even the cold regions of Antarctica. One of the key features of Antarctica during that period was the absence of the Antarctic circumpolar current, which created a strong climate contrast. This resulted in a rich environment that supported a diverse ecosystem, including dinosaurs and mammals. However, studying these forests has been challenging due to the ancient sediment layers being buried deep beneath the surface. To explore, the research team, led by Dr. Johann Klages at the Alfred Wegener Institute, drilled into the seafloor off Pine Island in the Amundsen Sea. There, they discovered a 5 cm thick layer of lignite containing amber fragments, which they believe is a significant find as it may provide a direct glimpse into the past of this forest. The amber fragments are estimated to be 83 to 92 million years old and formed from pine tree resin in a swampy forest. Notably, tree resin has the ability to preserve insects, fur, and even small pieces of dinosaurs. Previous studies have also found amber from the same period in southern Australia, an area that was once connected to Antarctica. However, the new discovery at Pine Island marks the southernmost amber sample ever recorded, located at latitude 74 degrees and longitude 107 degrees. Although the amber fragments are very small, about 0.5 to 1 millimeters in size, they still provide valuable clues about the ecosystem of Antarctica during that period. Particularly, the research team found small pieces of tree bark inside the amber fragments, suggesting that tree resin may have flowed out during a wildfire and was preserved when the area was later covered by water, protecting it from ultraviolet rays. The amber remains transparent, indicating it was never buried too deeply or exposed to excessive heat. This discovery has led the research team to create a new catalog called Pine Island Amber, which will help expand knowledge about the ancient Antarctic rainforest ecosystem. With each amber fragment found, scientists hope to gain a better understanding of the environmental conditions in Antarctica 90 million years ago, contributing to research on climate change and ancient ecosystems. As you can see, the Arctic is full of mysteries that humans have yet to fully uncover. Do you believe there could be another world here, beyond Earth? Could there be hidden secrets of ancient civilizations that once existed here? Secrets that they have kept concealed? Could life have once existed in the Arctic? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. If you found this video interesting and enjoyable, don't forget to give the channel a like and subscribe so you won't miss other fascinating exploration videos. Now, goodbye and see you again soon.